Well, Apple is set to report fiscal third quarter earnings after the closing bell on Tuesday. Here with a preview is Ian Fogg, the Senior Director of Mobile and Telecoms at IHS Technology based in London. So, Ian, do you think we'll see another quarter of declining iPhone revenue growth?
Well, Apple is pursuing the same kind of trend it was last calendar quarter, where they're being compared to a very, very good quarter a year ago because of the massive increase from the iPhone 6. So it's not going to be a dramatically big quarter for Apple on iPhone revenues.
But we saw sort of a decline in iPhone revenue last quarter. That was the first decline ever. Do you think we'll see another one this quarter?
I think it's likely. The big quarter for Apple is really what happens next quarter when they launch a brand new iPhone model. Can they alter the game? Can they revitalize sales for the iPhone?
I mean, and though, does a declining quarter of iPhone revenue matter from a share price point of view? I mean, the analysts I talked to say Apple is likely to beat estimates, which have been coming down in recent months.
Well, it's not a surprise that Apple is having a poor comparison this quarter or these quarters at the start of 2016 compared to the first half of 2015 because they had a massive jump when they launched the larger screen iPhone. It dramatically drove a larger addressable market for the iPhone. So year on year, it's not a surprise that they're struggling. The big thing is what happens next? What happens with an iPhone 7 model?
Yeah, well, and what about the Apple Watch? I mean, there was a report last week showing a 55% drop in Apple Watch shipments.
Well, again, it's year-on-year comparison. A year ago, the Apple Watch was brand new. Most of Apple's products have a massive jump in shipments in the first quarter they're unveiled. There has been no new Apple Watch this year, so it's unsurprising that they're down year on year. But Apple Watch makes up a tiny part of Apple revenues. You know, something like 65% of Apple revenues are from the iPhone product alone. That really is the bellwether for how Apple's overall revenue performance will do.
Well, and another small part of Apple's business is its services business. That's about 12% of revenue. This is the iTunes Store, the books, the apps. But, you know, many investors are sort of banking on this being the growth area of the company. Do you agree?
It's something which isn't so cyclical. It doesn't depend so much on when a new piece of hardware is released. It really depends on the installed base of Apple devices, which doesn't change anything like as quickly. They have over 1 billion Apple devices in use, and those are the addressable audience for those services revenues as they ramp up Apple Music, as they continue to do well with App Store revenues.
All right, so you're not necessarily worried about any fundamental issue with sort of, you know, fading excitement with Apple products?
I think Apple are still incredibly successful. They have massive margins. They're shipping a very large number of iPhones. In Q1 this year, in calendar Q1, they shipped 32 million iPhones. That's an enormous number, and it's at very high margins as well.
All right, Ian Fogg from IHS Technology, thanks for breaking everything down for us. We appreciate it. I'm Scott Gamm, and you're watching The Street.